What's going on YouTube? It's your guy Darian. I am the Bowtie Fragrance Guy, and on this channel we talk about three things: fragrances, fashion, and we jump into some lifestyle content as well. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, I invite you to hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to make sure you hit that little bell icon down there in the corner. That way you give us a shot that YouTube may notify you anytime I upload new content on the channel. All right guys, so today is Judgment Day. That's right. Of course you guys know that last month I launched 3 new fragrances with Navitus Parfums, Sartorial Nuit, Eau Debonaire, and Divine Aphrodisiac. And today I am going to get the opinion of somebody that I have the utmost respect for in the fragrance community, none other than Mr. Redolessence himself, Steven. So Steven has had a chance to smell these fragrances, and he is going to give his opinions and his commentary on all 3 fragrances. So I'm all ears. Steven is somebody that I've watched when I considered starting my channel. That's used to be one of my go-to channels. When I really wanted an in-depth review, a thorough review from someone that I know could really speak eloquently and really break down a fragrance. Steven was one of the people that I watched a lot before I got into reviewing fragrances here on the platform of YouTube. So it's safe to say I have a ton of respect for him, and I have a ton of respect for his opinion on fragrances. So after the intro, the next voice that you guys will hear will be that of Mr. Steven from Redolessence. So we're gonna hear what he has to say about all 3 of the new releases that I've done in collaboration with Navitus Parfums. So you guys know how we rock, you know how we get down. If you wanna hear Steven's thoughts on my 3 fragrances, then you know the routine. Keep it locked right here. Oh, let's get it.
The Bowtie Fragrance Guy.
Hey ladies and gentlemen, Steven here from the channel Redolessence, and first things first, Darian, thank you so much my friend for having me on your channel. Darian Hill, the Bowtie Fragrance Guy, thank you for extending this warm welcome and allowing me to be on your channel to talk about these 3 incredible fragrances that you just put out. So full disclosure, Darian sent me a travel atomizer of each one, and I was so anticipating these 3 to arrive at my doorstep. I basically waited until the packages were dispatched, which was actually quite earlier than anticipated. So they weren't even supposed to ship until August 15th. So a bunch of people got their packages early, which is great to see. And these are the 3 new additions to the Navitus Parfum line. And Darian really knocked it out of the park with the assistance of these master perfumers. And of course, with the original 2 creations, Serenade, this dark chocolate and coffee-like seductive boozy fragrance. It's really, really good. And then of course we have Aubade, which is another beautiful sort of almond fragrance that I wear for more casual situations. Here we have 3 new ones, and they are Sartorial Nuit, Eau Debonaire, and I love that sort of play on words with Eau Debonaire. And of course we have Divine Aphrodisiac. So the names pretty much give away, and they do a pretty good job of conveying what you can expect, the sort of vibe that's going to be fulfilled when you wear these fragrances. And so I just want to start things off by saying that I am incredibly proud of you. I have tried these fragrances already, so these are not true first impressions, but I am going to be giving you my thoughts on camera now that I've had the opportunity to spend quite a bit of time with them, and I can say that all of them have something really special going for them. But I think it's going to depend on personal taste. I think if you're into the gourmand fragrances, Divine Aphrodisiac is going to blow you away. I think if you're looking for a Swiss Army knife type of a fragrance, Eau Debonaire is going to be your pick. So let's just go ahead and start things off with Sartorial Nuit, and they have all been pre-sprayed about 10-15 minutes ago or something like that. And my initial impression of this one is there was something in here that I absolutely loved. Now, there is this sort of orange blossom ingredient in here. It's creamy, it's warm, it's citrusy. You have that orangey flavor, but something about this fragrance also kind of reminded me of Prada's Infusion d'Amande. Now, not exactly, there was something really clean and warm and inviting about it, and I almost got like touches of almond in here, and I think it's the natural quality of the tonka bean. Now, the tonka bean is silky smooth, there's a little bit of vanilla in the base to complement it. It really brings out the sweeter personality of the tonka bean, but combining it with the lavender and some of the other ingredients in here, this one is really smooth on the sweeter side of things. While not being a gourmand, it has enough of those aromatic ingredients in here to kind of prevent it from being a gourmand. So the perfumer for this one is Sidonie Lancashire. She's an amazing perfumer, has done so many fragrances and some in the past for Navitus Parfums, one of them being The Embrace, which is an amazing gourmand fragrance you have to try. Now, with this fragrance, it is described as sexy, addictive, and enchanting, and I completely agree with all three of those adjectives. It has bergamot, lavender, clary sage. There's the aromatic note that I was talking about. Orange blossom and South American tonka bean absolute. There are a lot of natural ingredients in this fragrance, and it is very, very strongly concentrated. In the base, you have Virginian cedar, sandalwood, vanilla, and musk. It's so smooth, it's so clean, and I think it's also incredibly versatile. As a matter of fact, I will go as far as saying this is the most versatile fragrance out of all three of these fragrances here. In terms of seasons, I can see myself wearing this one in the colder weather. That vanilla and that tonka bean is really resolute, but I think the clary sage and the lavender really modernizes the blend, so I can see myself wearing it in a warmer situation, perhaps spring or summer. I've actually wore this 3 times in a row recently, and it has smelled amazing on me. Eau Debonaire is definitely the freshest of all three, in my opinion. I'm not sure what other people are going to say, but in my opinion, it opens up really, really fresh, and I personally love that. It's a very grab-and-go Swiss Army knife, no-brainer type of a scent, and this one composed by Julien Rasconet. This one has bergamot, Madagascan pink pepper, Italian petit grain citronnière. In the heart, you have Indian jasmine sambac absolute, Indian tuberose, Tunisian orange flower, and French lavender absolute. So you see there is actually a little bit of an overlap with the lavender and the orange blossom, but in the base, some of the fresh ingredients that I was talking about, you have the ambroxan, you have the silky musk accord, definitely keeps it clean, but then you also have this classy touch of oak moss and benzoin from Siam. Now, this is an awesome, fresh, invigorating, citrusy, lavender, very uplifting fragrance. Like the name implies, Eau Debonaire, chic, urbane, dressed up, well-groomed. If you're wearing a suit and tie and you really want to convey your best and you want to smell like $1,000,000, this is an amazing, clean, modern, and youthful lavender fragrance with an abundant amount of citrus that is also long lasting. Now, of course, the other qualities in here like the lavender and the benzoin and some of those base notes are going to be a bit longer lasting than the citrus, of course, because the citrus is very volatile. But while it is there in the opening, it is very, very lively. Another one that I've actually also worn a couple of times, and my wife loves this one. Of the three, this is her absolute favorite. She's not into some of the heavier offerings on the market, but she loves Eau Debonaire so much. If I wore this 7 days out of the week, my wife would be content. She'd be very, very happy. Amazing fragrance, really classy, very sophisticated, great dressed up, luxurious and refined kind of a fragrance. Now, here's the thing. If you are the playboy, if you are the sophisticated individual, if you're dressed to the nines, you're dressed to impress, you want to turn heads, you want to get people's attention, and you want to be seductive and irresistible, this next fragrance is for you. This one is Divine Aphrodisiac Extrait de Parfum, and this one composed by Sidonie Lancashire. Like I said, amazing perfumer. In my personal appearance, I have found that gourmands are her specialty. So she has so many decadent, mouth-wateringly good ingredients in here. Bitter almond, Ceylon cinnamon, Indian sesame, peanut butter accord, praline, coffee, and you do get 2 different varieties of vetiver in the base. You have Java vetiver and Haitian vetiver. And let me tell you something, when it opens up with that sesame and that peanut butter accord, with the almond and the praline, it's sweet, it's nutty, it's gourmand, it's peculiar, but in the best way possible. And it's one of these fragrances where you don't even want to take the test strip away from your nose. You want to keep smelling it. It is that good. It has so much promise. It has so much going for it. And it showcases, one, the creative direction from Darian, who did an amazing job, but also the masterful compositional works of the perfumer. She is really a master at what she does, and I have never smelled anything quite like this. And the thing that is the most interesting is the vetiver stands out. Imagine that vetiver that you find in Guerlain's vetiver. Imagine that vetiver that you find in Tom Ford's gray vetiver. Imagine the vetiver that you find in Raja Parfums vetiver. And you take that and you add these enriching gourmand elements to it with the praline and the iris, and it's so creamy and nutty and absolutely divine. The name says it, divine aphrodisiac. This is such an amazing fragrance. Again, you know, some people might argue that the vetiver makes it a little masculine, but it's not. It's really not. It's perfectly unisex. And the iris and the gourmand ingredients in here really just open up the range of wearability. So many people are really going to enjoy this one. And as we enter the autumn season, I do think that Divine Aphrodisiac is going to be a great pick for so many out there. And let me just conclude by saying, Darian, once again, I am incredibly proud of you. As the founding creative director of Navitus Parfums, I know how difficult this journey is. I know how much time it takes. I know the correspondence that happens behind the scenes. I know the head-scratching moments where you're presented with all of these different brilliant fragrances, and you really have to narrow it down to what you believe are the absolute 3 best ones. But you have the best pick of the litter here. These are all incredible. I'm always here for you. If you need me, if you ever want to talk, if you ever want to collaborate, whatever you want to do, I am here. My services are available to you, my friend. Congratulations on everything. I cannot wait to talk about all 3 of these fragrances on my channel individually. You really knocked it out of the park here. Thanks again for having me on your channel. Of course, I am from the YouTube channel, Redolessence, my humble channel. Hopefully Darian leaves a link down below to where you can check it out. Love you guys. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.
All right, guys, we are back. Wow, thank you so much, Stephen, for those words, man. And like I said, it means a lot to me to hear, you know, your opinions on these 3 fragrances, guys. As you can hear from what Stephen had to say, he really did a good job to me of really summing up, honestly, my intent behind these fragrances, how he talked about how Eau Debonaire is a bright, uplifting fragrance. And he also talked about the fact that his wife really loves that fragrance. I've been getting that commentary often from the females that have had a chance to put their nose on Eau Debonaire. That has been, I think it's safe to say, the favorite. But I want to say it does smell one way on females and smells different on males. So definitely a unisex fragrance. I'm glad your wife enjoys that one. And of course, Sartorial Nuit. Just like I have been articulating to you guys for the past couple weeks, it is a signature scent and it is compliment worthy. That probably is going to be overall probably the most complimented fragrance of the 3. Although so it seems like from the feedback I've been getting, a lot of the fragrances, all 3 of them have been really getting compliments, but definitely that one. Year-round kind of fragrance. You got that freshness and the sweetness as Stephen so eloquently articulated. Definitely a signature scent. So if you're looking for a signature scent, get your hands on Sartorial Nuit. And of course, I knew that Stephen would probably love Divine Aphrodisiac because he, like myself, loves a good gourmand fragrance. And once again, probably as good as I could break it down, and I was the creative director, he broke that fragrance down and talked about the sweetness in that from the praline. He talked about that vetiver note, very prominent vetiver note in there, as well as, of course, a host of other gourmand notes like the Indian sesame accord in the opening. Of course, the infamous, now it's becoming infamous, the peanut butter accord in there. Just a divine fragrance, a gourmand lover's dream. So you guys heard it, not only from me, but now you have heard it from Steven. So Steven, thank you very much for taking the time to review these fragrances. Like I said, I have a lot of respect for your opinion on fragrances. I know that you know your stuff, and that's one of the biggest compliments that I could receive from somebody that I have a lot of respect for, and from somebody that I know for a fact knows their stuff. So guys, you heard it from Steven. If you have not yet, go ahead and grab your bottles. Hopefully we'll be able to extend it to at least the end of the week till Friday for you to get the discount. And if you guys are not aware of what the discount is, if you buy one, I think it's 15-20% off. Then the more you buy, the more you save. Ultimately, if you end up buying all three of the fragrances, you'll get up to, I think, like 30% off. If you buy a fourth fragrance, it goes to 40, and if a fifth, it stays at 40%. So now's the time to get them. Like I said, hopefully we'll keep it open for at least one more week. So if you're gonna get them, now is the time. But that's it, guys. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. As always, I sincerely appreciate your time and your attention to these videos. You guys don't have to watch, but you do, and I sincerely appreciate that. Now don't forget to make sure you take a few moments to go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. And make sure you're sharing these videos out to some other folks that you think could use this information or find it entertaining. Because I'm your guy, Darian. I'm the Bowtie Fragrance Guy. I love to look good, and of course, I love to smell amazing. So until next time, guys, keep looking good, keep smelling even better. I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.